this functional vet here. This is an aristocrat. Let's go over this real quick. Our message in plain text, and I hope you can see it, it says NOW, now IS is THE, the TIME, time, FOR, for, ALL, all, GOOD, MEN, good men. That's our message. Down here we have a substitution alphabet called a cipher. A equals Y, B equals W, C equals U, D equals S, E equals Q, and so on. When we translate these letters, N becomes D, O becomes F, W becomes T, I becomes H, S becomes M, and so forth. Alright, that's our substitution. Now let's look down here a little bit. And this is breaking an aristocrat. This is the most simple of all ciphers. Believe it or not, there's been massive research on encryption and breaking encryption and that sort of stuff. And if you're familiar with who wrote the poem of the Raven, you'll know somebody who spent a great deal of time studying encryptions. But let's move on to this. Common two-letter words: OR, OF, AT, AS, AM, AN, BY, DO, GO, ME, NO, IS, IT, IF, I apostrophe M, and IN. These are very common, very frequently used in messages. Common three-letter words would be something like AND, FOR, THE, HIM, HER. These are common. Now there's a bunch. I believe there's something like 30 to 40 common three-letter words in the English language. I'm not remembering exactly how many are common in the two language. And in the four language, I think there's the most commonly used are somewhere less than 30 to 35, something like that. So let's look at our message. Up here, DFT, HM, OJQ, OHBQ. We have a Q here, a Q there. We have an O and an O. Let me flip this up a bit. Let me pan this back a bit. Have an O and an O, a Q and a Q. No other letters showing up yet, but if you notice, we have a first one here, a first one there. In cryptography, when you're using a simple cipher, E is the most common letter, followed by T. You'll notice that we have a Q here, a Q here, no other, one more Q back over here. So we can pretty much kind of guess that, tilt this, we can kind of guess that this might be an E, these letters, high probability. Now your common letters that are doubles are going to be like double E, double O, double T. For example, cheese, choose, something with a double T, some word that goes with that. So we can kind of assume that up here on this Yankee Alpha Alpha, it could be either an E, an O, or a T, because these are common. It's going to turn out it's not any of those, but we have to start from somewhere. So we're going to start with these three letters. We have these two right here, which are double Fs, which could be an E or an O. There's almost no words in the English language that have a double consonant T in between two vowels, and you would have to have a vowel in order to have a word here. So we can pretty much assume that these are going to be E's or O's, although we may not know exactly what they are. So we come down here, and I've broken this stuff down, as you can see. Well, let me raise it just a slight bit. As you can see, the HM, which is our first 2-letter word, then our 3-letter word, then our 4-letter word with the double consonants, which is what we have here, the stutter, and then the 4th. So looking down here at the first one, if you notice, HM is our first group. It could be any of the above, you know, the OR, OF, AT, etc. The high probability would be is, it, of, because these are the most common. As we come down here, we have Y alpha alpha, or Yankee alpha alpha. The highest probability for this is going to be something like ALL or ILL, but the LL is a high probability there. And the reason being is because there are not that many English words that have 2 consonants after with something like this, unless it's a proper name like Anne. Number 3 down here is Lima Fox Fox Sierra. So our highest probability is going to be a double E or a double O. So we kind of can take the F's, and let me pan back up here a bit. We can take these F's and we can look, do we have any F's up here? Yeah, we have one here and here, as well as over here. So there's a good possibility that these could be O's. If that's an O, we would have something, O, something, and whatever this is, and on. Now, this is where editing film is great, because I'll just cut out all this dead space so y'all don't have to deal with it. So what we have right up here is we have something, E or O, something, some letter here, possibly the or for, who knows what it is. These I's, probable E's, but we don't know for sure, E or O, and it has to be either ALL or ILL, highest probability. Doesn't say it is, highest probability. And then E's or O's, and then this last word. Let's assume that for our breaking of the code, it's IS, is, the, something, something I, something E, something ALL, EE or OO, and then E. We can start breaking this out, and we can start substituting letters in, because that's how aristocrats are broken. You substitute letters in, and you would come up with N-O-W, now. You take your F and you place it anywhere where you have an F, and you would end up with, or correction, your T would be an O, and you would correct all this stuff, and then you would break it out to now is the time for all good men to come to the party. That's how you break an aristocrat. Edgar Allan Poe was a big fan of cryptography and spent a lot of time playing with it. The American Cryptogram Association has great helps to get you into the fun of breaking cryptograms. You can break them with computer, but if you will break them by hand, you will expand your brain in your brain will start thinking in ways that will actually help you to problem solve other issues. And I would recommend whenever you're breaking cryptograms that you always use a pencil and paper. A computer can do the job, but a computer doesn't help you to expand your experience with it. This has been kind of a crappy presentation. If you'll go to the American Cryptogram Association website, they have aristocrats that you can break online by plugging a letter in and starting to work this. They also have helps that will help you. There's what's called reversals. When we go back to this original page, which is kind of not a great deal for this, you have TH, TI, OJ, OH. So you know that these two letters, A's and I's and E's, are the most common second letter. So you can pretty much assume that those letters would be your second letter in here. Now in this case this is an H, but it's a three-letter word. So your first letters have a high frequency of being first letters. Your second letters have a high frequency of being second letters. And believe it or not, the letters that are next to the end in long sentences also have a high frequency of being vowels. Not always, but high enough that it can help you to break this. With that said, dysfunctional vet out.